My mic should be on before I ask that, right? Am I back? Alright. So did things... Just gonna test the sound real quick. I'll be here in just a second. Okay, something's broken. Hang on. My desktop sound is broke. Give me a minute. Well, there's the problem right there. Why does NVIDIA mess with that? Let me see, is that... There we go. Okay, sound fixed. The sound wasn't broken, it's just when NVIDIA messed with the settings, it fucked with my Elgato for some reason. I don't understand why it does that. It makes no sense why it does that. Alright, so, should be back now. So it was kind of an unnecessary restart, but it still needs to be done for the graphics drivers anyway, right? Alright. Let me just tweet I fixed that. Do. Alright, so let's do this. So it wasn't broken the whole time. Fuck me. I always forget it does that. There we go. Now you can hear it. It was just simply the Elgato was on mute. When the drivers updated, for some reason, they muted the Elgato. I don't know why. Makes zero sense why that happened. My game is frozen. Why? My game just froze. Immediately just froze. Well, someone in the review section did say this kept happening to them. It seems to be on the first load, though. The first load seems to cause it to freeze. What the fuck is going on here? My graphics drivers are updated, so... Heck to you, Planet Zoo. Try it for a fourth time. Someone stop that elephant. We keep seeing this happen. There we go. Bam. All right. It seems to be working. So yeah, this is where I'm at. Who is Opal Storm? Apparently they're a friend. Well, to you, Opal Storm. We're here to represent PETA We're causing the game to freeze because zoos are inhumane. Hey, Agrippa. Yeah, so far I've been having nothing but tech issues. Some of my shit, but I'm get an avatar costume. Nice. All right. So remembered where I did this during the beta because I placed myself here. But we'll start here because I kind of need a refresher on how to play the game and just in these in general. Plus, it'll kind of show you guys how to play the game as well. So this, when I first, during the beta, this was all that was unlocked. None of this was. So, but we'll start it anew. Also, the volume's too much. Let me know. Oh yeah, I need to move myself on screen too. I still gotta do that because I'm gonna be over the money bar. You have no idea what this is. You're imagining a Zukai tune, but it's computer art. Have you ever played, or seen Planet Coaster? I mean, it's similar to the Tycoon games. And I've seen a lot of play of Planet Coaster, but I've never played it before. And I played a bit of this. It is a bit loud. Okay, we'll change it as soon as it loads.
Ah, heyo at Hematu. Yeah, yeah. Oh, sorry about that. I have a habit of slipping back into the Blanco language. It's good to finally meet you in person. I'm Bernard, although I insist you call me Bernie. The only person who calls me Bernard is my wife. And even then, only when I've tracked elephant dung into the carpets. As you know, I own several zoos, but I always like to show people the ropes here at my home. This is the first zoo I ever opened, and a source of great pride for me. And prides, thanks to a lion breeding program we ran in the 80s. But we're in the middle of a big renovation, and that's where you come in. Sadly, our old contractor had to retire after developing a fur allergy. Poor devil kept sneezing his dentures into the lion habitat. So, it's up to you to finish everything off. Don't worry, though. I'm not completely throwing you in at the deep end. My head keeper, Nancy Jones, will be lending a helping hand. Oh, she's a hard worker, and she'll expect you to be too. But I'm sure you'll get along like a house on fire, or even better, one that isn't on fire. Less shouting that way.
Hello there. From that rosy, fresh face of yours, I'm guessing you're Bernie's new hire. Good. Now, I hope you're ready to ditch your diploma because we're about to get really hands-on. But before we begin the real work, how about we familiarize you with the zoo by learning how to fly around it and visiting some of our beautiful animals? We'll start by popping over and having a look-see at the grizzly bears in their habitat.
Okay, first, let's do this. Okay, I have to go over there to move myself on the camera though, but I'll move myself up so you guys can see the bar I'm sitting on. There we go. Now I'm not sitting in front of the UI. Okay. Alright, we're gonna do this. Get rid of that. Whee! What did she want me to do? Oh, she said want me to zoom over here. Like a zoomer.
Did you know that grizzly bears, also known as Ursus arctos horribilis, can hibernate for up to 7 months a year? Oh, but then again, given the chance, I think a lot of people would do that too.
What a poo? That's a poo.
Select one of the bears and you'll bring up its information panel. This is where you can find out all kinds of information about your animal. The most important thing being its overall welfare. You'll learn more about animal welfare today as we go through your objectives. But for now, let's enjoy this magnificent animal. Why don't you select the camera at the bottom of its information panel?
Oh, look at that.
See now, this is a fantastic
bear and
way
log
to get
together.
a close look at your animals. You can also get this view of an animal by simply double-clicking on it. Okay, when you're ready, let's pop over to the other side of the zoo and take a look at the lions. I've marked their location for you to find.
It's majestic when a bear loves a log. Yeah, oh god, it's a ghost bear. That's the worst kind. Where are we going? Oh yeah.
Panthera leo leo, or the West African lion to you and me. Lions are the most social of the big cats, and there can be as many as 40 lions in a pride, although prides of that size are pretty rare. As Bernie would say, those lions are awesome, which is precisely why I handle training instead these days. Anyway, how about we get started on those objectives? Come on, let's head over to an empty habitat and see what needs doing there.
All right.
As you can see, it's a lovely space for animals, but it's missing a certain something. Well, two somethings. Warthogs. So I'd like you to adopt a pair of them. To adopt animals, we need to open the animal market, which is in the animal trading section. There we are, a pair of perfectly splendid warthogs for our zoo. Just click on them and select Adopt from the side menu. Normally the animal exchange would be full of animals, but I've emptied out the market while you learn how it works. The last thing I need is you accidentally ordering a dozen elephants.
She killed all of them.
When you adopt an animal, it's automatically placed in the trade center, where they're held until you're ready to move them into their habitat, which, as it happens, you are. So how about you move them into their new home?
So here they are. We got our two warthogs. You've heard of the birds and the bees? Now get ready for the bears and the trees. Oh gosh, that's some advanced level stuff here. So we move them into here.
When you ask for an animal to be moved into a habitat, your caretakers will go to the trade center, collect your animal, and deliver them to your selected habitat. I've marked the trade center's location, so let's go and watch the caretakers in action.
Have you? Isn't that it? Oh, it's over here.
Well, as you can see, those caretakers don't hang about. They'll move those animals to their destination as fast as possible. Of course, normally we'd have to place the animals into quarantine before moving them into a habitat, but I am assured by a person of good standing that these warthogs are in the very rudest of health. Right, let's get the warthog's habitat finished up so we can keep them nice and happy. You see, each animal in the zoo has an overall welfare statistic, basically how happy they are. And that overall welfare statistic is itself comprised of 4 different areas: nutrition, social health,
They employ
habitat,
capsule core
and
technology.
enrichment. Luckily, if you select an animal, you'll bring up their animal welfare information panel, which we saw earlier, where you can see how they're doing. That way, you'll know exactly what areas need to be addressed. Don't worry if that's a lot to remember. You can always check the Zoopedia for more information. Let's start by making sure we're taking care of the warthog's nutrition welfare. To do this, we'll need to place a food station and a drinking station. Now, each animal requires a different type of feeding station. And for the warthogs, it's a small feeding trough. So let's add one of those and a water bowl.
Okay, over here it lists the animal that uses these types. Open the animal black market where you'll find elephants, tusks, and whale teeth. Alright, well we want these guys to, you know, come up here to water bowl. Can't go too close, so put it over here. They gotta work for it, right?
Animals also require stimulation to keep them happy. Let's add a lovely mud bath for the warthogs to roll around in. That bath will count towards their enrichment welfare, specifically their toy enrichment welfare.
Mud bath. Could put it like right here, and the workers have to go. Oh, it won't go right there.
Oh, nice work. You've got a knack for this, I see. Now, our contractor had to leave in a hurry, so this place is in a feral state. Unfinished thingamajigs and whatsits all over the shop. But the first thing we need to finish is the ostrich habitat. It's over near the hippos.
These guys. Look at these pointy bastards. Cheekbones for days. Oh, look, it's feeding time. What's on the menu, boys? French fries. Delicious. Eat it. God, it sounds like they're eating people. Just gonna get a little bit of water. Let's see when I'm using the mud bath. Well, there'll be plenty of time for that. Ostriches, huh? What's wrong with the ostriches?
Oh, before we actually start building our ostrich habitat, let's pause the game. Just click the pause button in the bottom right corner.
Done.
Ah, that's more like it. A quick break. Sometimes it's a good idea to pause the game whilst you're doing something which requires your concentration, because it'll stop the zoo spinning out of control while you're looking the other way. Let's keep the game paused while we get this ostrich habitat built. Okay, job number 1 here is to add a habitat gate before we complete the barrier. Every habitat needs a habitat gate. After all, how else would the keepers get in and out? Just make sure it's hooked up to the path so the keepers can reach it.
Pork chops and bacon for dinner. What's wrong with the ostriches? Well, they don't seem to have any. That's generally a problem. Not having ostriches can sometimes be a problem in the ostrich pen.
Right, let's complete the perimeter barrier so we can adopt us some ostriches. I've marked out an area for you to use, so I'd like you to finish off the perimeter using the brick barrier.
You can make these curve somehow. No, wait. Yeah, brick. Does brick curve? It does. Forget how to get it to curve. There. that later.
Good work. Remember, before you can place animals in any habitat, it has to have a full loop of connected barrier. Now, you've probably noticed that guests can't actually see into this habitat at the moment. At least not without a stepladder. But seeing as they're banned, I'd like you to select a piece of barrier and swap out the brick for a glass barrier, so the guests can see in.
I mean, that sounds like a whole load of not my problem if the guests can't see the animals. I think barrier. There we go. It looks fine. There we go. Where are the ostriches? They're on the other side of the brick wall. I can't see them. Get fucked, kid. Get fucked and gain about 3 feet, alright? It's not my problem. What was this? No, wait, that's to add.
There we go.
There we go.
Adding in more windows gives guests even more opportunities to see the animals in a habitat. It's always best to make sure the guests can get a good view into a habitat from the path they're walking on, because it makes them happy, and because this would be a pretty terrible zoo if they couldn't. The last thing we need to do is to add a donation box. You see, when guests enjoy the view of an animal, they'll make a donation. Just make sure you put them in easy-to-reach places, like near a viewing point. Donation boxes are one of the main sources of income for the zoo, so make sure you remember them.
Oh, they're not gonna let me. I was gonna try to, like, do some more changes, but they're restricting me. Thanks, Karen. Jeez.
Now, before we adopt our ostriches, you should click the play button. After all, if the game's paused, then so are our caretakers, which will make it a bit tricky for them to deliver the ostriches, eh? By the way, as well as pausing the game, you can speed the game up by clicking on the fast forward button. It'll run everything at 2 times and 5 times faster. It can be useful, especially if you're waiting for money to accumulate or for animals to be delivered to your habitat. Personally, I use it when I'm waiting for a brew to finish. All right, you've finished the habitat, so it's high
Karen's
time we adopted
Nancy's
those
a
ostriches,
drunk.
don't you think? Let's get 4 of them in here.
If we want to see the animals, we can just open the pen door and let the guests right in to see them. We're going Jurassic Park style here. We just let them out. Nancy, this is why you don't run a non-profit zoo. Ostriches and other death birds cost millions of dollars. You want 4 ostriches, huh? Well, these only cost like $200. Did I do that wrong? That one's like 300. That one's like 400.
While we wait for them to be collected by the caretakers and brought to the habitat, you should get it ready for them. Add a suitable feeding station, water station, and an appropriate food enrichment item. It's often best to place things like enrichments and feeding stations near to the habitat perimeter, so guests can get a really good view of the animals.
Fuck no. We don't want them to have views of the animals. Yeah, I can't change any more of it. Alright. Look, here they come. Oosh! I'd get out of there, buddy. Do not want to be standing behind these dinosaurs. For some reason, I don't remember these being ostriches last time. Maybe they were. Whoosh. Alright. So they need a large food bowl. Need a little bit of enrichment. Get them right up close, right there, in your face. In your face type. Forget how to rotate. Forget what the rotate button is. Hang on. What is the rotate button? Control Z and Control Y work. Is there not a way to rotate this? That shrinking patch is amazing technology, and this zoo cannot afford it. They had a side contract with Capsule Corp. Why don't we put a big bay the animals bedroom and let the guests really get close? Oh, that's one of the things. One of the slightly disappointing things about this game is there are insects and lizards, but they actually just kind of have their own little atriums, so you can't actually build their habitat. I was kind of slightly disappointed in that because, man, there'd be nothing I'd want more is just an entire pen of spiders, and then I just let them go. Let them run rampant through the park. This is what you all get. Spiders! Spiders for everyone. Doesn't tell me how to, like... Can I not rotate until I put it down? Object placement. Here we go. Rotate. Z plus arrows. Okay. Or just hit Z to rotate 90 degrees. Okay. Oh, no, wait. I see what it is. So, habitat. That, okay. I don't want to rotate it on that axis, though.
Oh, good to see the ostriches have somewhere they can really stretch their legs. Did you know they can actually run at 43 miles per hour? Oh, heaven forbid they ever escape. The speed camera fines alone would bankrupt us.
Well, Bernie certainly seems impressed. Did you do his speed camera joke? Every time we get an ostrich. So, now we've made the ostriches' lives a bit better, let's do the same for the keepers, shall we? To make it easier for the keepers to feed the ostriches and hippos, we should build a new keeper hut. Keeper huts are where the keepers prepare the food for animals. so they should be placed near to the habitats to make sure the keepers don't waste their time walking when they should be looking after the animals.
What the heck is going on with my camera? My camera is very slow all of a sudden. What the heck? My camera is suddenly like uber slow. Feels different all of a sudden. What's happened? Look under your seat. You get a spider, and you get a spider. Why is my camera suddenly so slow? I've done something to it. Okay. Maybe that was the problem right there. The game just crashed. Why is the game crashing? I'm gonna say it. This game was far more stable in the beta. Yeah, PETA is back. This game was definitely more stable during the beta. It never crashed once for me. It's not going well for me, is it? It's just... Then again, it's only happening to me. One dude I was watching play this earlier today never once had this problem. I swear this has never happened to me before. So I get to listen to music again.
Well, Bernie certainly seems impressed. Did he do his speed camera joke? Every time we get an ostrich. So, now we've made the ostriches' lives a bit better, let's do the same for the keepers, shall we? To make it easier for the keepers to feed the ostriches and hippos, we should build a new keeper hut. Keeper huts are where the keepers prepare the food for animals, so they should be placed near to the habitats to make sure the keepers don't waste their time walking when they should be looking after the animals.
Actually, I'm guessing what happened was because I was trying to perform an action that the tutorial didn't want me to do. Which shouldn't have crashed the game, but I'm thinking that's what happened. And that's why the camera was suddenly moving so slow, because I was trying to rotate this in a way the game says I'm not allowed to yet. Place a keeper hut.
You'll need to rotate the keeper hut to get it to connect up to the path.
Rotate it 90 degrees like that. Okay. What about the advanced move? Nice. Rotation of the world axis. Ah, it went away. I want to like do that a little bit though. Do that. That's the world axis. Okay. Toggle from translate to rotate. Oh, here we go. That's still kind of shite. That's what they always say. It doesn't normally happen to me.
This keeper hut only has space for one keeper, but the larger keeper hut can allow multiple keepers to prepare food at the same time. Oh, but bear in mind that keeper huts and other staff facilities shouldn't be placed near to areas where there are lots of guests. Guests don't like seeing facility buildings, and it can affect their happiness. Negatively. In case that wasn't clear. Something that all facilities, shops, and a whole host of other objects need is power. And that obviously includes your newly built keeper hut. So let's place a transformer next to it, shall we? Now, the reason everything has gone blue is because you're using the power heat map. This map allows you to see what is and what isn't powered in your zoo. So, once you've placed your transformer, you can click in the bottom left to turn the heat map off.
Invalid rotation.
Lovely work. Now the keepers can start using the hut to prepare food, and thanks to where you've put it, they won't need to walk very far to deliver it to the ostriches and hippos. Let's get on to your next objective then. Bengal tigers. We want to adopt some, but I'm afraid there's nothing ready for them yet. Head on over to the plot of land I've marked out. It's not too far away. Righty, your next job is to build a habitat from scratch. And concrete and glass, I expect. So, go ahead and build it. Just make sure that the habitat includes that big hole we've dug. Oh, and don't forget to add a habitat gate to the barrier.
I don't know, I'd say this looks...
And make sure the guests will be able to see the tigers.
I mean, I'd say this looks absolutely fine for tigers. I think it's perfect as it is. So where's that shadow coming from? Someone leave us a balloon. Oh yeah, they did. I mean, it's fine. You can just put the tigers straight in. They'll be fine. You don't need to worry. Barriers. Resistance grade 6. Not climbable, watertight. Not climbable, watertight. Want to go all the way. Man, that's too much. Curve. Snap off. You could just manually control the length there. You can always edit it later on. You can pull and push everything. Hey, Ian. Yes, this is Planet Zoo. We'll move this wall out. It's not far enough. Do some tweaking here. That side looks good. Ooh. That's a bad thing right there. Look at that. There's a hill right there. I think they're gonna get out like that. Might have to fix that. Okay, their place is right over here, so we'll add a gate.
Now, Bernie takes safety very seriously at his zoos, so we should probably make sure those tigers can't jump out of their habitat, don't you think? The way we'll do it is by changing the height of the habitat's barrier. Okay then, you should start by double-clicking the habitat barrier, which will take you into barrier editing mode. Great. Now highlight the entire perimeter of the habitat. You can do that by clicking and dragging the barrier selection tool. Now you've got all of the perimeter selected, you can increase the height of it by clicking and dragging the barrier height tool upwards. You'll want to make sure it reaches a height of at least 3.7 meters. Okay, that's the habitat boundary complete, the habitat gate in place, and most importantly, the tigers won't be able to jump out of it anymore. I think it's time we adopted those tigers.
There's a heat map that can actually tell you if they can jump out, I think. I don't know. We can mess with the terrain a little bit here. Terrain stamp sculpting. This is it. Yeah, it looks fine, I guess. I don't know why that's not. Can't push it down right there. Oh well. What did she want me to do? I'll get the tigers. Nobody can even see the tigers yet. Is this all 3.7? It's all the same height. 372, 372. 2. Okay. Wait, I didn't put him in here. Or did I? I guess I did. Look at him.
Whilst our trusty caretakers collect and deliver the tigers, let's take a look at preparing the habitat for their arrival. We'll start with the basics. Add a suitable feeding station for them.
I guess, well, there's benches over here. We need. Still don't have. They can't see the tigers right now. There's like a sign up that just says "coming soon." Right there. Large food tray works for Bengal tigers. So what was the? Slightly in the ground there.
This time, instead of adding a water bowl, let's try something different. Some animals need a pool in their habitat so they can go for a swim, but they can also use it to drink from. All you have to do is make sure the banks of the pool have a gentle slope so they can easily get a nice, refreshing drink. There's already a pool excavated, but you still need to fill it with water. You should do that by going into terrain and selecting the water tool. Yes, that'll do nicely. Of course, just like the warthogs and ostriches, these tigers will also need some enrichment. Why don't you add some suitable toy and food enrichment items into their habitat?
It's coming down to the water. Let him go. Clearly remember Zoo Tycoon. I love that game. Tried Zoo Tycoon 2, but it wasn't the same. Hope this game is good. The fact that it came out on your birthday is a clear signal. Oh yeah, happy birthday. Yeah, I played it a bit during the beta last month, and it's just out again today in full release, so. Look. This is going for a swim. Oh, he's loving it. God, the sound is very loud. Oh, shake off. Tell me he shakes off. Nope, he's just gonna dry out. I was hoping they do like the shake a motion. Give him a nice toy like a baby pig or an elephant. Man, I wish. Oh yeah, the frozen blood pumpkins. We'll give him a rubbing pad. Is it like? I'll like put it back here.
Okay, it's really starting to take shape. Now, the tigers will need a shelter in their habitat so they can hide from the guests, or more likely the bad weather. Although given that we're in England, you might want to think of that just as normal weather. Go on, add a shelter to their habitat. You can either build one from various suitable bits and bobs, or if you like, just pop down the blueprint that I've already built for you.
I ate the blood pumpkin. Still, I mean, nobody can see what's going on in here. Oh, look, he's gonna use the pad. Maybe. Oh, that was amazing. That's great. The bravest zoo employee, yeah. The door is over there, and they have to walk clear over here to do that. Definitely buy this game once it's on sale, because right now you're not really financially in shape to buy games at full price. Understandable. eventually. I don't know. I've never seen like an animal escape. It's entirely possible because the walls can break down, all that kind of stuff. So I'm not sure like what kind of carnage would happen. Look at this. They get to live in a shed. It's beautiful, isn't it? Put like over here so they can kind of like get away. Oh, that thing will just go anywhere, won't it?
Oh, poor Dabs. I'm sure it can't have escaped your attention that the tigers look a bit miffed. That's because they aren't too keen on the type of terrain in their habitat. Select a tiger and bring up its information panel. Rightio, click on the terrain tab. That way you can view the terrain information and see how they feel about the different types of terrain. That'll tell you what the tigers need more of or less of in this habitat.
They actually
Okay
want...
then, open the terrain editing tool, select painting, and give them some more soil. Yes, that should help with the habitat part of their welfare.
So they have too much long grass and not enough short grass even. No wait, they don't have enough short grass. It's all tall grass. We gotta bring that soil count, that grass count down. Those are rookie numbers. You gotta put. Tigers tend to pace around their habitat, so you gotta like clear it out, right? Just like pacing the walls. Short grass. They got plenty of soil, they just need...
Right then, all animals need plants and trees from their own biome or continent. You know, deserts, savannas, Eurasia, Europe, that sort of thing. It looks like these tigers need a few more plants in their habitat. To get a perfect fit, use plants from the rainforest and temperate biomes that are native to Asia. Although if you have to, you can get away with using just one or the other. The tigers will also want a certain amount of their habitat to be covered by those plants. To find out which plants to use and how many, select a tiger and go to the Environment tab. Now, as you can see, some of the plants currently in the habitat aren't quite right for the tiger, like the wattle bushes. You can remove them if you want.
They don't like wartles.
You can find all of the plants you need in the nature section, and you can use the filters to only show the types of plants you want to see. In this case, that's plants from the rainforest or temperate biomes.
I was waiting for that one to like use the hill and climb the wall. Very sadistic design choice. In the first Zoo Tycoon, like the fence would suffer wear and tear and eventually break. Zoo employees would repair the damage. Yeah, that's pretty much the way it works in here. If you don't have maintenance, the fence will break down. So you have to have maintenance crews come in and... Look, he's gonna... You just sucked up tiger poo. Okay, so what? They don't like... They didn't like the wattle bushes. Which are these? So them. They don't like this. They don't like the acacia tree. Get rid of that. Let's see, they like tropical, temperate, and grasslands. So they like grassland, temperate, and tropical. Okay, cool. So there's our filters. This is what we can use. Tree here. So they want some coverage too. So they just want more plants in general. Common reeds. Am I liking the game so far? Yeah, we're kind of just doing the tutorial right now, but yeah, it's pretty good so far. Put like a couple here. Sorry you don't like that tree. It was there before. Deal with it. Doesn't support picture-in-picture and Android. Oh yeah. Oh no, wait. Oh, yeah, it'll do the small picture thing, but yeah, I don't know if it can... What other plants do we have here? We've got some, like, little flowers. People like some flowers? Or some... Bamboo. Well, that might be nice to, like, hide their habitat a bit. Oh, this is how you like... It still like snap rotates. Bushes here. Not really doing much for the coverage though, is it? I feel like a lot of coverage. So you don't want stuff too close to the fence because I think they'll actually try to scale things to get over the fence. You gotta be like extra careful about that. Try to hide their habitat some more too. 'Cause, you know, they gotta get away. They're liking all the plants, aren't they? This tree just looks like it doesn't belong. There we go. Seem to like that. Well, happy little bush down there. The size of that thing. There we go.
They say that good fences make good neighbors. I guess that's doubly true when one of the neighbors is a Bengal tiger. Still, those tigers look so happy that I doubt they'd leave. Even if you did poke a hole in their fence.
Wanna
but for
try
heaven's
it?
sake, don't test that theory.
Oh.
Right. Let's head over to the Indian peafowls. I've been told that we need to improve their social welfare.
Well, there's still kind of one big problem with the Bengal tigers. Nobody can see them. Absolutely nobody can see them. Let's see if we can fix this. Oh no, we can't. It won't let me fix it. It won't actually let me fix it. Oh well. Nobody wants to see the tigers, I guess. Fine. Not my problem. These visitors see trees popping up behind the fences and have no idea what the fuck's going on. I know. And they'll never know what's going on because they never put a window in. Come see our tiger attraction. Or don't.
Now then, just find one of the peafowls and select them to open their information panel. Then we can have a good gander at how they're doing. Although technically, I suppose gandering would just be for geese. Expand their social welfare and we can get a bit more detail. Now, they've clearly got plenty of space and they're not stressed, but it looks like their social group isn't quite right. So let's find out more. Click on the social tab at the top of their information panel to see what's wrong.
There's not enough adults.
Right, as you can see, the peafowlers need their population to be larger. To solve this little problem, you'll need to adopt 3 more female peafowls. Off you pop to the animal market then.
Little hedge maze. Nobody's allowed to go inside of. It's good though. This is like the entrance to the whole place. Been to an English zoo before.
Good work on those peafowls. I expect they'll be delivered soon. But sadly, it sounds like our snow leopard is a bit grumpy. Let's head over there and see what's wrong with her.
Well, that's it for this. In the original tutorial, you had to do a lot of work in this place. They're not making me do it this time. Have I seen The Shining? He wouldn't go into any hedge maze. Yeah, that's true. Well, it's not snowing yet. Might be fine. So male bird is only with only half a dozen females. Welcome back, Ian. So where's the? Oh, there they come. usually female. Maybe peafowls are different. I guess they all kind of look the same, don't they? Where's the male? There's two females. Well, right.
Just like people, animals can suffer from stress if things aren't quite right. You know, like when you see someone put in the milk before the tea bag. In the case of these snow leopards, they're a bit stressed by their lack of privacy. You can lower their stress levels by swapping out the normal glass barrier by their cave for one-way glass. It's not a cheap option, but I think they're worth the expense, don't you? This will give the snow leopards somewhere to go when they want to get away from the prying eyes of the guests.
I like the way they've done this. So like we've got like the logs coming across here. So you can also build their habitats. I think this is like a built habitat where you can just use rocks and stuff to like build their habitat, which looks kind of neat. Yes.
Of course, when an animal isn't in its natural biome, it's probably going to be too hot or too cold. Unsurprisingly for the snow leopards, it's too hot. Even with the terrible British weather. You should help cool it down by adding some coolers to their habitat. But let's start by opening up the temperature heat map and having a look-see at the temperature in the leopard's habitat. As you can see, we already have one cooler in there. Let's pop some more down and get as much of the habitat as chilly as we can. Luckily for us, this habitat already has power, but you'll need to make sure of that in the future. Just so you know, if any part of a habitat is powered, then the whole habitat will be powered.
That's good. Isn't the male with the one? Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. It's the males that have the big feathers, but... And those females look like they had the big feathers, so I was curious about that. But I couldn't actually find one of the males, so... Am I British? No, I'm not. Oh, no, wait. Also... Well, yeah, the lady here is British, though. There's coolers in the habitats. Oh, that's what's spring now, isn't it? Yeah, look, it's starting to cool down. Kind of wish it'd show the bubble ahead of time, though. It's a fairly big bubble. Oh no, wait, now you see it. And people going by on the train are gonna get like a... Oh, I have to add 3 coolers. Add one in the water. Add and one in their... I guess they want one in their pen?
You can find heat maps for all sorts of helpful things, so do be sure to explore them and make good use of them. It'll take a little while for the temperature to adjust once you've added coolers or heaters, but now we've got the coolers in, we can address the leopards' terrain welfare. You see, what the leopards really want in here is snow and rock, so let's make that happen.
Select one of them, select their terrain. So they're fine on rock at the moment, they just want long grass. Some more snow. No, wait. We've already got too much long grass. I'm reading it backwards. Some more snow. Look at all this long grass.
Well then, all of that should give you a pretty good understanding of how to make animals happy. So I'd like you to go and check on all the other animals in the zoo and fix up any issues with their habitats. That'll increase the average welfare of the animals across the whole zoo. And that average welfare is a very important statistic. Now, to quickly see how all your animals are doing in the zoo, you should go into zoo management and then into the animals section. As you can see, this list shows you the animal's overall welfare. So, if something's amiss, then you can quickly pop over to them using the locate button. Right, I'm off for a cuppa while you make sure all the animals are well looked after.
Looks like most of them are fine. There's a couple like low-down ones. Zebras and giraffes don't seem happy. Shirl doesn't seem happy. Be able to like zoom in on them. Oh, yeah, the location. What's wrong with you guys? Oh, they have no enrichment. Habitats. Enrichment items. Let's do filter species for... Oh, there is aardvarks in here. We'll have to do an aardvark themed zoo at some point. So it's an Alabara giant tortoise. Where's that? Here. There we go. Fruit spike. Oh, they like fruit spikes. little ball to push around. A block of frozen fruits. Can't put it like. I don't like to climb. I don't think tortoises really like to climb that much. Yeah, they like sprinklers. There we go. They really like sprinklers. If I've been into a zoo in this country, yes, I have. It's been many, many years, probably like 6 years or so, but I have been to a zoo here. It's quite nice. Otherwise called a, what is it called? Dierentuin. Dierentuin. Which, literally translated means animal garden. So this game is called Planet Dierentuin. Alright, so the tortoises seem happy now. Yeah. They are all kinds of happy. The zebras aren't any good. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at how this is done up. So they just all like come up here. That's neat. So they can kind of get like at eye level with the giraffes and kind of just see over the big habitat. There's a lot of poop in here. This is awesome though. Okay, so you guys, you have a problem with your habitats. You have a problem with your terrain. Not enough long grass, not enough grass just in general. There's far too much soil. Some short grass things. Maybe not that big. Full intensity. Cool. This is kind of similar to the way you know, that Jurassic World game kind of did, but a little bit more robust and a little bit more forgiving. Your animals still die, but I think in sandbox mode you can even turn that off. But it's not like as aggressive as it was in that Jurassic World game. There we go. They seem happy. Okay, what else? Not enough plants and they have 0 enrichments. So they need food and... species. What kind are these? These are just called plain zebra. They like a grab ball, a rubbing pillar.
Not bad. Not bad at all. I think it's fair to say that you've passed the first part of your training with flying colours. There's still lots more to learn, but we'll have to head to another one of Bernie's zoos for that. If you want to grab your passport, we'll head off, shall we?
Alright, we did it.
Sounds like you've got the whole zoo purring away nicely. Well, purring, grunting, screaming, booming. All the appropriate noises. I guess I was right to hire you, huh? Don't tell her I told you, but Nancy wasn't sure you'd even last the morning. So, we're happy this is working out. And Nancy owes me a Foxy coffee.
God, I hope
As
that's
strange
not a
as it
euphemism.
seems, considering we just met, when I look at you, I feel like you're the child I never had. After the one I did have, obviously. But you see, zookeeping's not for my daughter. Don't get me wrong. Emma absolutely loves animals, but she set her sights somewhat higher. Wants to save the entire planet. I'll just settle for saving a couple of species. Oh, and maybe
Wow, way
having
to
a
lower
type
the
of
bar.
frog named after me.
Okay, so we finished this tutorial. Did they have exotic American animals? Like what kind? Oh, you mean like at the Deeden tone. Hey, Rick. Okay, so we finished here then. Zoo alerts. I have a place that's not had a vendor. Oh, well, not my problem now. So we go on to the next bit, I think. Okay. See, I'm getting a feel for it now. Next. Madagascan Simian Conservation Project. Let's do it. So yeah, this was, when the beta was up, this was the only thing available. And everything else was locked up, so we'll do this. Yep, it's literally a planet. Because you can actually have multiple zoos. There's franchise mode where you can actually own many, many zoos. There's an animal trade system too, that you can actually trade with other people.
Welcome to Madagascar. It's quite the change of scenery from dreary old England, huh?
shit.
Apart from the weather, I suppose. They don't call these places rainforest for nothing.
This place looks amazing.
The zoo you'll be working in is an ape sanctuary, where we're doing vitally important conservation work. Not just for apes, but for all kinds of species. But apes, well, apes are some of the closest relatives to humans there are. And yet, the way the world treats them is like, well, very much like some of us treat our actual relatives.
Burn.
Anyway, that's why I'm determined that our operation here does some good. If we can all leave some part of the world in a better state than
That
we found
walkway.
it, we'll have lived lives worth living. And speaking of states, I have a horrible feeling I left the house in the right one. When I get back, I expect my life won't be worth living at all.
What do you think of Madagascar then? Bit warm for my taste, to be honest. Anyway, this is Bernie's primate sanctuary. It's not just primates, though. We've got all sorts of animals. So why don't we go and have a look at some of them, eh? We'll start by taking a look at the red-ruffed lemurs. They're the ones that look like they should be in a Shakespeare play. Come on, let's head over to them.
Oh man, look at this place. I just want to like get a look. Like, it's quite loud. Look how a lot of these are done up. Like it's got like hanging baskets here. Like the I like the elevated platforms. That's cool. So instead of like having windows through the walls. I guess that's how they do a lot of them though. They actually have them where you look down into like a pit. Look at that. A little boat in there. Okay. Let's get on with this. Do you answer the guy speaking like if it was Dora the Explorer on a TV episode?
Red ruffed lemurs are found in the rainforests of Masoala. That's in northeast Madagascar. They can actually live anywhere from 15 up to 25 years. Fancy that, eh? Okay, when you're ready, let's go find our Bornean orangutans.
Look at the biceps on this guy. You'd be in Street Fighter and crush a car. Also not interested in moving. Where'd he go? Oh, I'm so looking forward to building my own zoo.
The Bornean orangutan is such a marvellous creature. They're always a big favourite at any zoo they feature in, and they're also the biggest tree-dwelling animal on the planet. Assuming you don't count any lions that got stuck up one. Oh, why don't you take a better look at them? Open up their information panel and go into the animal camera.
I already am.
Aren't they just incredible? When you're ready, let's go and have a look-see at some of our beautiful bonobos. They're quite the characters.
So am I like not doing any work here? Uh-oh. I was worried the camera was locking again. I love these elevated pathways. They're just like going over everything.
Oh dear! It looks like we've arrived just in time. One of the habitat's barriers has collapsed. And wouldn't you know it, one of the bonobos has made a run for it.
Where?
We'll need to catch them. But before we do, we should box up the other bonobos to stop them escaping too. Select the habitat boundary to bring up the habitat information panel.
Go, buddy, go. Hang on. We'll box them up, but we're gonna see where he goes. I suppose, yeah, I mean, yeah, you could like you could let him out. So what do I need to do? What did it tell me to do? I actually wasn't paying attention. I was too busy cheering that guy on. I'll play the dialogue.
Oh dear! It looks like we've arrived just in time. One of the habitat's barriers has collapsed. And wouldn't you know it, one of the bonobos has made a run for it. We'll need to catch them. But before we do, we should box up the other bonobos to stop them escaping too.
Oh, here we go.
Select the habitat boundary to bring up the habitat information panel.
Say double click it to bring up the habitat information panel. Say that again?
Oh dear! It looks like we've arrived just in time. One of the habitat's barriers has collapsed. And wouldn't you know it, one of the bonobos has made a run for it. We'll need to catch them. But before we do, we should box up the other bonobos to stop them escaping too. Select the habitat boundary to bring up the habitat information panel.
Select the habitat boundary.
Good. Now open the Animals tab. And click on Box All Animals to box up the remaining bonobos.
There we go. All right.
Now, we'll need a vet to recapture that escaped bonobo, but it seems our last one left to do some research in the wild. Not an ideal situation. So,
buddy,
we'll
go.
need to hire a replacement, sharpish. Go into the zoo section and then into the staff management area.
Look at him go. Be free. Some people are just running. Look at the panic it's causing. All right.
You can find all of your staff in here, but there's no time to go looking at their particulars at the moment. Hire a vet. Now, click on one of the paths to place the vet in your zoo. Okay, that's a relief. So while the vet deals with our bonobo friend, let's go fix up their habitat so they can't escape again. Head back over there.
She blow darts it. They blow darted it.
As you can see, the barrier's collapsed. Someone's taken their eye off the ball, obviously. Let's get this one replaced. Select the barrier and then we'll edit it. Delete the broken section of barrier and replace it with a brand spanking new one. Good. Now that we've done that, we need to make sure to add climb-proof barriers to the top. That way the bonobos won't be able to climb out. Just make sure you've got the correct piece of barrier selected when you do that. Okay, so go into the options section and select which side the climb-proof barrier needs to go on. And don't get it wrong. We're more worried about bonobos climbing out than guests climbing in.
On the wrong side. Oh, I see.
Nicely done. And I think it's high time we unbox those bonobos, wouldn't you say? The poor mites will get sad if we leave them in there for too long. Select the habitat barrier to bring up the habitat information panel again. And then open the Animals tab. And finally, click on Unbox All Animals to let them out. I expect some of them are fair bursting for the toilet. So, it turns out that as well as the old vet leaving, the zoo's mechanics did too. We'll need to hire a couple of new ones so we can help stop any more breakouts. You see, mechanics do all sorts of helpful things around the zoo, but one of their most important jobs is taking care of the habitat barriers. Without mechanics around to repair them, the barriers will crack, crumble, and fall down. And before you know it, we'll be overrun with escaped animals. Go into the zoo section and then into the staff management area again. Hire a mechanic and then click on a path to place them in the zoo. And then click on the path again to hire a second mechanic. As you can see, you don't have to go back into staff management if you're hiring lots of the same type of staff member.
Nice.
Oh, gosh, we have been busy, haven't we? Good work there. I'm off for a cuppa. Oh, I think Bernie wants a word with you.
So you got like windows in the barriers too.
Oh, I hear you had a bit of an issue with an escaped bonobo. The main thing is that you dealt with it swiftly, and more importantly, without the animals stealing someone's clothes, putting them on, and then walking out of the front gate.
I almost let that happen.
Now, you've probably noticed that there's already a building where I want you to build the research center. Don't worry. You see, the building that's currently there is actually a hollow shell, so we're able to place our new building inside of it. If you select the research center for placement and then hover over the shell, you'll see that it asks if you want to add the research center to the existing building. Okay, click to add it to the building. Oh, but that won't place it in just yet, though. First, we'll need to rotate our research center so it automatically connects to the path when we place it.
what? What did you say? Select group. Okay. It's for like editing this group. I can get it to go around back of it. How do I get it to go in it? Bring it lower. Oh wait, maybe that's it. Ah, there we go.
Right. Splendid work. Now that we have a brand spanking new research centre, we can give our vets something to do in there. Oh, by the way, it's worth noting that the vets will only do research when they're not required to do any other jobs. That said, you can change what jobs a vet does via their information panel. But let's not worry about that just now. So, let's get our vet researching ring-tailed lemurs. Go into the zoo section and select Vet Research. Here, you can see a list of all the animals present in your zoo, and also all the potential diseases that can occur. Now, drag and drop your vet onto the ring-tailed lemur to start their research. Actually, thinking about it, I'm not sure we've got any education boards or speakers by the lemur's habitat. Let's head over there and answer, so our guests can learn all about the furry little delights. First off, let's pop down 2 education boards. Place them on the habitat barriers at a height that guests can see, or, if you like, pop them down on a stand.
Quite a lot to this. Why don't we have mechanics in their cage areas so they don't get out? Just cage them in there. Just move them in there and never let them out again. Oh, put it in so children can't climb out either, or climb in. Do visitors do silly stuff in front of animals or other stupid things like humans? I don't know. Although there's a lot of people just really wanting to see this board right here. Holy crap. Facilities, wait. Facilities? Guest facilities? No? Ring boards and speakers? Turn on the line to surface to make placing boards easier. Position snap? Is that it? There we go.
And from the drop-down list, select ring-tailed lemur. Although I'm sure that last part was obvious. When you link an education board or a speaker to an animal, you need to make sure that said animal is close by. If it isn't, the guests will get confused and won't learn as much.
So we also need a speaker then? There's 2 educational boards. There's 2 educational speakers. Okay, so there's like... Is there another board nearby? There it is.
Okay, now that they've been put into position, we have to tell them what animal to display information about. Select one of the education boards to bring up its information panel. Okay, now that we've done the education boards, let's pop down a pair of speakers. Speakers play audio to the guests, so they can learn while they look at the animals, instead of having to go through the laborious process of reading. Oh, one thing to bear in mind is that it's important not to put the speakers too close together. If you do, the guests won't be able to understand what's being said.
Just for my on the ground. Sounds like there's sound already. What was the woman moaning about? She's making out with the boards. I guess what? Just like. Surface. Oh, we could put it like up here.
Now we simply need to link the speakers to the ring-tailed lemurs, just like you did with the education boards. Fantastic! Oh, it's worth remembering that education boards and speakers both need power to work. They won't do much good without it. Oh, it looks as though our vet has completed their research on ring-tailed lemurs. We'll need to collect the results. We can do that by clicking on the notification or by going back into the vet research area.
2 animals just escaped. Alright, well, I guess we'll deal with that in a
Collect
moment.
your research rewards. Just so you know, vets will continue to research an animal even after successfully completing a research level. I suppose when you're in the zone, you're in the zone. Well, now that we've enriched the lives of our guests, let's enrich the lives of our ring-tailed lemurs. Some animals, like lemurs, will have a climbing need. That means they have a requirement for a certain amount of climbing space, and you can fulfill that requirement by building them a climbing frame. Let's find out how much more climbing space our lemur friends need, shall we? Select one of them and bring up their information panel.
Lemur. It's disappointing I don't think there's foxes in this. I wish there were foxes.
Next, click on the Terrain tab. Now, as you can see, the lemurs need quite a lot more climbing space. But as it happens, I've already got a climbing frame blueprint built for you. So you can either pop that down or build one yourself from scratch. By the way, it's not always just climbing needs that you have to worry about. Other animals might need a certain amount of water in their habitat so they can go for a swim. They certainly do keep us on our toes. Oh, that's a great climbing frame for them. They're going to absolutely love it. Do you know what would make them even happier, though? Nicer food. But
still
that's true
floating
of
a
all of
bit.
us, though, isn't it? You can unlock better quality food for animals through research. Luckily, we've already unlocked some for the lemurs, so all that remains is to make sure they get served it from now on. Let's bring up the habitat information panel by selecting the lemur habitat.
There we go. It's like looks a bit better. What did she say to do? Wasn't listening. Set their food quality to grade 2. Hold on. Grade 1.
Oh, that's a great climbing frame for them. They're going to absolutely love it. Do you know what would make them even happier, though? Nicer food. But that's true of all of us, though, isn't it? You can unlock better quality food for animals through research. Luckily, we've already unlocked some for the lemurs, so all that remains is to make sure they get served it from now on. Let's bring up the habitat information panel by selecting the lemur habitat. Lovely. Now select the Animals tab. There we go. As you can see, we can set the food quality in here. Just click on the drop-down menu and select Grade 2 Food Quality. Grade 2 Food Quality. My mouth's already watering. So, a new climbing frame and better food. Oh, you've really spoilt those lemurs rotten. Now, I think it's time we looked at one of the zoo's most important responsibilities. Releasing animals into the wild. You see, when we feel an animal is ready, we can release them into the wild. But what makes an animal a good candidate for release? Well, their age is an important factor. I mean, we can't release an animal that's a juvenile, just as we can't release one that's gotten too old. They'll also need to be fertile. After all, the idea is to repopulate the wild, so the best candidates will have a high fertility gene. And together, the age and fertility of a candidate will determine how many conservation credits we'll be rewarded when we release them. Now, conservation credits are vitally important. They're the lifeblood of your zoo, because earning them allows you to adopt even more animals. And what's more, the animals you can adopt will be of a higher quality. So, with that in mind, let's pop over to our orangutan habitat.
Another ghost animal. He was kind of clipping in a little bit.
Okay, I'd like you to find Agang, the Bornean orangutan in the habitat, and select him, please. You can either click through each orangutan in turn, or select the habitat barrier, go to the animals tab in the habitat information panel, and find him in the animals list.
What are we looking for? A gung? Is that the one? Release, oh yeah, release a gung into the wild. Get 1,000 leaf bucks for that. So his genetics got good fertility, good immunity, longevity.
I know it's sad to see him go, but he'll be happy out in the wild. And he's a wonderful candidate for release. Young, strong, and fertile. Excellent work there. You've definitely got potential, you know.
Ah, I see you've been doing some homework. Although, it hardly seems like work when you're learning about something as adorable as a ring-tailed lemur. I imagine I'd have got much better grades at school if there'd been less algebra and more aldebra. Tortoises.
Okay, so far we've done a lot of work with habitat animals, but now it's time to learn all about exhibit animals. Let's build a brand new exhibit. I've marked an area for our new exhibit. How about we head over there? Lovely. Now let's build a new exhibit in the gap that's been left. Just add it to the building like we did with the research centre earlier, then pop it into the gap.
Just pop it into the gap. Sound a little she sounded a little too excited about the fertility. We should probably go check. We should probably go check on that orangutan, just to see where it actually ended up.
Perfect. The next thing to do is adopt an exhibit animal to go in there. How about a Gila monster? Open up the exhibit trading section and adopt one. Just as we do with habitat animals, we need to send the Gila monster to the exhibit. Click on the exhibit to send it there. When you send an animal to an exhibit, it'll automatically be given the correct setup. But that doesn't mean it's completely ready for them. So let's finish it off. We'll start by adding some enrichment items. Click on the exhibit to bring up its information panel. Good. Now click on the Layout tab. Oh, well, it looks like we've only got the enrichment level 1 items unlocked at the moment. Never mind, let's turn on at least one of them for the Gila monster.
I think C looks best, right?
As I'm sure you know by now, you can unlock more enrichment levels by having one of your vets do some research. Now we'll also need to set the temperature and humidity in the exhibit. These are vitally important for keeping our Gila monster happy and comfortable. Click on the Climate tab. Here, you can see the Gila monster's desired temperature and humidity. You can change both of these by adjusting the dials below. Make sure it's going to be nice and cozy.
Humidity is way too high.
That's the ticket. And the last thing we need to look at is setting up the different windows. So click on the Windows tab. You can edit and customize any of the windows on an exhibit. A window can be closed and blank, or have a two-dimensional background, or even a three-dimensional background on it.
Whoa.
Why don't you have a play around with the options?
That one.
There's also an exhibit education board. Pop them down near your exhibits to teach your guests about them. Let's add one now.
Did it wanted...
Lovely stuff. Now our guests can learn all about our venomous friend here. Right, now, I've got a bit of a big job for you. I need you to increase the number of species in the zoo. You'll probably want to adopt both habitat and exhibit animals to do so, which will mean building plenty of new habitats and exhibits for them. Go on, off you pop. I'll check in with you when you're almost done.
I don't even see him. We can't be sure he's actually in there. He might not be. It's that exhibit where everyone's told, yeah, he's in there. Oh, is that him down there? No. Where he is. Yeah, no, he's actually in there. We swear. Okay, so I gotta like... Oh, I gotta build more stuff. So it's like there's... Okay, there's like spaces for it. So next... We have at least 12 species in the zoo and we've got 9. Alright. So I guess we can like... Okay. So we can like build over here. So I guess this is where... There's a couple spaces. So this is like staff only pathing down here. So, what kind of... We can have tapers. So what do we have? Okay, what do we have in the zoo? Let's research on that. So we've got bonobos. We've got Eduardo the iguana. We've got orangutans. A giant burrowing something or other. Giant burrowing cockroach. Tasty. Hippopotamus? We've got hippopotamus. Got mandrills. Lemurs. Okay, so we don't have tapers. Got bonobos. Got orangutans. Got hippos. Got mandrills. Oh no, wait. Yeah, we got the... Yeah, we have both the ringtail and those. Okay. We don't have oh, we don't have chimps. So we don't have tapers, chimps, and nothing else. Oh, here we go. Wait, animal training. Okay. So we could either do it the easy way and like add exhibits. Like a little. Oh, this one's empty. This one doesn't even have anything in it, I don't think. Exhibit animal. So we have the giant burrowing cockroach. We have one of these. The giant Tigerland snail. Gila monsters. We don't have a giant frog, do we? Lucerne Telians. Let's get a Goliath frog. Already they seem pretty happy. Wherever they are. So is that... Yeah, I'm up to 10. So is there anything I can like... Okay. Is there anything that like shows me just empty exhibits? Silly. Infrastructure. You can't really tell if there's like an empty exhibit somewhere. There probably is a way of telling, but I'm not exactly sure how. Vacation, Zoopedia. What's that? That's got the beetle in it. kind of difficult to like build in a pre-existing zoo. I gotta figure out how I'm doing this. Okay. I think this is staff path, isn't it? Yeah, that's a staff path. And this is people paths. There's some players visiting. Okay, so let's... Okay. We can, like, divide this place up. So we'll have, like, a... I think how to do this. Because we just need 2 more species. So we could have, like, the path come here. You could have a species here. Maybe something over here. Didn't quite tell me how to do this. Paths right here. Staff path, cues, path. You can have cues, nice. Well, considering this is on the ground, so you don't want like a deck. Tree bark path. That might be kind of nice looking. Yeah. We'll like run the staff thing here. No, I'm not gonna do the above walkway, at least not for here. So we want to create a barrier. So we're gonna do tapers. Wait, where'd they go? Wait, where'd the tapers go? Tapers disappeared. I was gonna build a habitat for them. Okay, well, we can go, let's see. Zoopedia. Researching items. I'm just like trying to familiarize myself with this. Vendors. So these are all animals we got. Stop. Just just click buttons. Oh, here's Zoopedia. So what do we know about them? Natural habitat. So they need 430. They don't need any climbing. They need temperature, and they've got a little bit of water requirements. Does it say like what kind of walls they need? So they don't like existing. So they don't like existing with others. Oh, so maybe we can mix these. Let's see. The chimps. Where were they? 'Cause maybe the chimps can live with one of the other species. Western chimpanzee. Oh, they have no. They don't benefit from it, but they don't exactly hate it either. I guess that's how that works. They're promiscuous. So where's the zoo located? You've got a ton of animals. This one's in Madagascar, I think. I didn't see a Western Lowlands gorilla. Actually, that wasn't in... Selecting the wrong things here. So I guess, yeah, we want to... This is how long they're on sale. Well, we can just like build a habitat. See what they do. Barriers will do. So these are tapers. They shouldn't like resistance grade 3. They're climbable, but tapers don't climb. So this isn't our actual zoo yet. We're not like making our own. This is again like the tutorial stuff. Like fix all this up as we go. It's one heck of a location for a zoo. You can walk out. Yeah, you can just walk outside and grab one of the exhibits. It's like going to the zoo and it's like, there's just cats here. There's cats and a squirrel. Just nothing but cats. So we need a place they can get in. So habitat gate. Okay. So we're gonna want this. This is like the staff only. The people don't come down here. See, now we've got this. So you can like. This needs buildings, power. We have no. Oh, there's a little bit of power, so that's affecting the whole habitat. That's good. This is just an empty habitat. No animals. Get a taper yet? Taper's like, oh wait, you got a taper. What's wrong with this one? This animal is being adopted for cash. It cannot be released to the wild. That's fine. Imagine zoos in exotic locations just have things that are normal in America. Or something, just an exhibit of feral cats. The terrain is made to look like an urban alleyway. Yeah, it's like, here's some cats, and then, you know, here's some rats. They come out, it's just a garbage can. It's just a rats and some garbage cans together. Hey, Solaris, get a giraffe? Didn't actually have that in the option. There's none in the animal trading right now. Only just had a taper show up. Look, we need to get like staff down here, because look how far you had to run to get up here. There you go, you little bitch. We should just like pause it and see like. So again, if we, I don't even know how big this habitat is. How big is this? It's like 2,000 square meters. How much did tapers need? $430. He's got like way too much space. Look how big the pen is. We only need 2 more animals though, so that'll be fine. It's Pizza Rat from New York Subway. You know literally nothing about this game. I'm kind of doing the tutorial bits. So like this is like a pre-built zoo, but it's like having me do like some of the extra stuff. So it wants me to add like 2 more species. So like, okay, terrain, he needs some water. So we'll like, terrain. So we'll like, really just dig in that hole. Let's see if we can smooth this a little bit. Smooth this. Why it decided to become grass when I did that. Okay, so he's got the water he wants. It's a hard shelter. Do it. We'll do a we'll like build our own stuff when we make our own zoo. So let's see. Filter this to species. So they like these types. Got a shelter, which just suddenly like went down. Insufficient shelter space to cover all animals. How? So why is the game like paused? Oh, it's not. Oh, I think it's because this pen is so big. Maybe you want like some bedding? he's fine. So yeah, it's all kind of like, you can build your own zoo. It's about, you know, animal management. You gotta manage the zoo. Stuff like that. I'm still kind of learning it. I played a bit during the beta, but... So yeah, like you can see, there's too much, like... Not enough short grass and too much long grass. Terrain. Got too much long grass? Just want short grass. We don't like long grass. Okay. Need to feed him. Food, water. Slow. It's only him. We'll put like the windows over here. Bonk. It needs like... Tapers like boxes? They do. There you go, have a box. Have a box, little guy. And a ball. Have a ball. That's just gonna roll right up to the fence. And a sprinkler too. Oh yeah, they like not enough like plants and whatnot. It's probably not getting the social enrichment he needs either. Are tapers solitary? Still need, oh, they still need food enrichment. I haven't done that. Food enrichment. Give them like a barrel. There we go. Okay, that'll go immediately into the water. Okay, so let's see, plants. Nature. So let's see, likes tropical. Tropical, temperate, and grassland. There you go. It needs a little bit of coverage and just some plants. So let's see, coverage or trees. Look at this thing! Oh my god. Giant baobab. This is a baobab, right? It is a baobab. A little stumpy baobab. We'll put like... There we go. Really love that. It's like... Get rid of that filter. Is that a lily pad? It is, it's just not like... On the surface, it's not like... Yeah, he's in the water! It's not snapping to the water. About that later. Again, we'll worry about it for like our zoo. Just a bit more coverage. You not like those? Not from the same continent. mix these too much. I know it's just a tutorial, but we like wanna. Are we still filtering? Grassland. Tropical. Oh no, wait. Tropical, temperate. Grassland. Let's. Climate. South America. Ah, that might help. He's just standing in the sprinkler. He's had a swim, now he's in the sprinkler. That's kind of nice. There we go. What's he doing now? He seems pretty happy. There we go. Our one taper that, again, nobody could see. So late. Okay. Barrier. Edit barrier. So you can, like, add windows, apparently. That's not really what I wanted to do. To like add a window? Yeah, window. There we go. Oh, cool. I like that better than just the straight up glass barriers. Just like that. Yeah, that looks better than just the glass barriers. People can actually see it. And then what else did it need? It needed facilities. Facilities. Where's the donation thing? Where was that? It's just for habitats. Barriers. Bins, benches, and safety. So, okay, cool. You can put down recycling bins. That's nice. Security signs: do not disturb, do not feed. That's cool. Where's the donation bins though? I heard there's a taper at the new zoo. Oh, what's it look like? I don't know. Sounds happy though. It's like the Bengal tigers that were at the other zoo. It wouldn't let us edit it to put windows in, so we had the best Bengal tiger enclosure ever. Just nobody could see it. We have to like make sure I'm selecting everything. Selected. So where's the donation bit? Do the monorail. Oh, that's gonna be awesome. It's just a bin. That's not a recycling bin, is it? No, that's just a bin. Where is it? What's wrong with him? Oh, it needs another taper. He's not happy socially. Is there another taper? Ah, there is another one. There's more in the zoo now? No, wait. It's trying to hide. So, like, add a barrier. One-way glass. Does that help? Obviously incredibly expensive, but that should help. Okay. He's unstressing. Yeah, they finished them. I don't know what the donation bin is. I'm trying to like blueprints. So when it comes to like building things, you can like build entire buildings from scratch. Like, there's props, there's pieces, there's everything. It's great. I just can't figure out where the hell the frickin' donation bins are at. Where are these things? Let's go look at one of the others. Here. Donation box. I mean, I can duplicate it, but I want to know where it is. Camera's going slow. What's going on now? They all have low welfare. What's the problem? They have no enrichment. That might be this. They're fine. I need to find these donation things. That's how you eat too. It told me like where to put these freaking things. Where is it? A lot of visiting players. Apparently I'm visiting. Where am I? Oh look, there I am. I'm visiting my own zoo. The ultimate Karen. We don't just want to speak to your manager. We are the manager. I got a donut. That is amazing because I just got donuts today. Look at her go with her nice skin tight leopard print pants. The highlights in her hair. Amazing. I know. I had to do the pants. Absolutely had to do the pants. Where the friggin' frackin' stat pass queues? Zip trading. That's not it. Animal training. Not it. Zoo. This is all research. So, okay, none of that is in there. Visit your own zoo so you can jump your employees that aren't working hard enough. Pretty much. If there's time to lean, there's time to clean. If they don't get to the close to the donation box, they can pretend they didn't see it. Classic tactics. I mean, yeah, this is supposed to be like how he financed the frickin' zoo, so I'm like, this is why I gotta figure out where this damn thing is. I remember when I played the beta, I had trouble finding this thing. I'm not sure where the heckin' heck it is. Facilities. Donation. Here it is. The donation box. Could have just done that. There you go. I've just done that the whole time. Yeah, oh yeah, I just decided to use the search bar right when you said that. Like, now they're all tossing money in. Okay, so we've done that. So all that's left is... we need one more species, which I guess is going to be the chimps. Which we'll put the chimps over here. So like, okay, paths... tree bark paths, and then we can align to grid. Don't really want to do that yet. Then we can like select grid. You can like camera follow. That's the width. There we go. Why isn't it like... No. Stop trying to go up. Why is it stairs now? Okay, so done that. And then we have to have like high barriers, because I could do electric fences. There's no power over here though. Opaque climbable. We want non-climbable. Could do corrugated. Glass isn't climbable. No. To find a... oh, yeah, so you can... If you have species that can't swim, you can just, like, put a moat around them. If you put a moat around them, then you can, like, create an empty barrier. So I think baboons can't swim, right? Because, like, most... like, it almost seems like every time you see a baboon enclosure, they're always surrounded by water. Because they can't swim. But we can do the log thing. So like, actually no, cancel that. raise it up though, right? That's not gonna be right. Like corner it a little bit. How much space do chimps need? I don't know. Could just go look it up, but. We'll go totally around and have that tree near it, because I'm sure they'll never climb over that, right? Never in a million years. You see a chimp climb a tree. Okay, but we have to, like, put the barrier. So we have to put the climbing guard on it, right? The climbing guard, climb proof. Right? There we go. So then they can't climb out over that. It's been in the box for too long. What? When were you in the box? Box. Why are you in the box? Oh, it's a little babby. Really, they were in the box too long. Broken down. ATM. The zoo is falling apart. It was a very tiny lemur. Alright, so, well, we can go ahead and go to animal trading and see if we can get some chimps. One, probably not on sale anymore. We got one western chimp. Great. We're gonna adopt that baby. Zoo. Valid destination. Why? Oh, because we don't have it. It's not actually a habitat yet. The staff can't get in. Well, like, so do that staff path, right? We still gotta like set up a power thing over here too. Now it's aligning to grid. Put that there. Okay, so facilities. Let me transform over here because I have no power. Why is that not connecting? Oh, it's too close. Now normally you want to hide that because the people don't like seeing that. That's okay. Okay, so then we need. Okay, now that's a habitat. Should be. And then. know how big their walls gotta be. Actually, we can go to the Zoopedia. It's a lot of animals. Where's the chimp? Western chimp. Climbing requirement. Oh, they need grade 3, and it's got to be at least greater than 4.15 feet. Okay. It's already climb proof. So we'll just make it like, there we go. So now the little bastards can't climb out, or can't leap out. Might still be able to get out over here though. There's supposed to be like a, there's supposed to be like a pathing thing you can check. Traversable area. Oh yeah, we have to select the animal though. It takes them forever to get over here. So we can see if that tree is actually something they can climb out with. Because they might just be able to go whoop right over here. We complete this. Well, we complete this once this animal goes down. Come on. Look at him go. Come on. Step 2.
My, you have been busy, haven't you? Splendid! But now that you've adopted all these lovely new species, we need to make sure they're nice and happy. So let's get the average welfare across the zoo nice and high, shall we? And by we, I mean you. Go on, get to it.
Alright, fine. Okay, so we want to make sure this thing can't get out. So traversable area. Okay, yeah, looks like they can't just leap over. In fact, it looks like they can't even climb the trees. Okay. Buildings, negative impact on guest. Guest needs. Okay, cool. Alright. So we gotta make sure this guy is nice and happy. Socially, not very happy at all. Needs a social group. He's all alone. Is it a he or a she? It's a dude. Trading. Any more chimps? There were a bunch of chimps before. Yeah, here we go. Here, have something you can boink. That'll make you a bit happy. Okay. You need some enrichment in food. They like humans well enough, so we'll add the glass. Oh yeah, I think we already moved it here. I hope. Okay, so you need, need to make sure you're fed. So habitat, food and water. Tutorial feeding platform. Western Jumanji. Western chip. Alright. Okay, social group's getting a little bit better. Too few juveniles. Social. They want even more. Oh man, this guy's gonna have a harem. Another. Okay, that should help the social. Terrain, they want... Most everything else is fine. Yeah, they need some climbable area. So get them like, what do they like? Western Gorilla. Look at that thing. Gorillas. Western chip. We already got that one. Put it up here. Okay, how are they doing now? Social? Still not happy enough. They still want more. Need like one more. To be happy. We're out of chimps for the. There are no more chimps at the moment. Work on their habitat. They want a lot of climbing space. They only like the small things. What the heck? Why did they get boxed up? That was weird. They want climbable space, don't they? Those. Oh, I bet they'd like this thing. Stop that! I think when I place something too close to him, it does that. Fuck's sake, what is it? Oh, do they not have enough space? What kind of... Look at this, they have enough. Oh, they don't have any shelters. What kind of shelter are they like? That looks nice. That's really big. This habitat might be a little bit too small for him. Some more short grass. Actually, it's not a space issue. They just want more stuff to climb on. They like lots of stuff to climb on. Okay, so I haven't like screwed them up on. Where is it? Habitat, traversable area. Okay, yeah, they still can't get out. They can get on top of this, though. Okay, need some enrichment there. Anytime. Okay, then they just need like toy enrichment. We're just throwing shit in there now. Everyone loves a sprinkler. Oh, they have a keyboard too. Okay, their enrichment's fine. We just need more climbing shit. God, he's actually playing the piano. Well, you know, to a degree. They want a lot of climbing space, don't they? This doesn't really do anything for him, though. There we go. Okay, that seems to make him pretty happy. Socially, they're not happy, though. Just gotta find another chimp, and I think they'll be fine. Tell you what, here's where all the ladies are at. Oh, am I out of leaf bucks? This thing expired, son of a bitch. Oh, I'm completely out of leaf bucks. Yeah, playing. Give them, yeah, we'll give them a typewriter. We'll give them a typewriter and see what happens. Alright, well, for the most part, they're okay. What was the thing we needed to add here? So there was the facilities. Is it here? The donation bin? I think it's like too close to this pen. It gets confused. Alright, what's wrong with our Gila monster? He's not getting fed. I think we don't have enough staff right now. So let's see. We need some more staff. So we need keepers. Just hire a couple more. Should help keep them fed. I need to put a building out here, I guess, because I think a lot of them are complaining about nutrition. Yeah. Suddenly they're fine. It's all nutrition. Okay. Zoo alerts. Beef for event. They're all getting fed, so I think we'll be okay. So what is it? Increase the habitat welfare to 90%. That was done quickly. Seems not good. It's like terrible off right now. Lemurs. It's probably nutrition. Nope, social. What's wrong with social? enough climbing space either. Okay. I can't wait really to get to like doing our own zoo. This thing. There we go. That seems to please them. Enrichment they're not getting. They need toy enrichment. Toys. Filter. Everyone likes a box. There's actually like a piano too. Sure. I have one. I think that's dealt with the lemurs. Lemurs seem happy. Bonobos. Don't seem happy. What's the problem? Enrichment. They have 0 enrichment. Pretty much like the others, aren't they? Play with some mirrors. Bongos. Bongos like these. Bonobo's also like a block of ice. There you go. Alright, these bastards got boxed up now. I need food enrichments. So let them like punch this barrel. Can you like put it up here? You can. That work? Box them up again. I don't know why it does that. I didn't even actually. Oh no, wait, that doesn't even do anything for them. They don't even like that. Delete that bit. What the bonobos like? They like a big old forage box of enrichments. Right there. What's that got them? A bit more, don't they? Frozen fruit. Okay, that's got them happy. Man. What are we on average right now? Doesn't really say, does it? 'Cause we're supposed to get our average up to 90%? To 84%. The hippopotamus. We haven't even seen them. We can come over here to check them out. Social group. hippopotamus. Is there anything just straight up cash? A lot of leaf books right now. They're all leaf books. Looks like other than that, they're happy. Somewhere. Where's the way in? How do they get into the habitat? They have a like real big area, because look at this. Oh, there's like a fence right there. Can't actually see where the staff get in. Okay, they just want... They want more space, really? They have well more than enough space. There's just too much shit in here. Whatever this is, they don't like this. Where's it? The Scivial bush. Habitat of nature. Where is this thing? That is like not even actually in their habitat. I don't think they hate it though. It's not something that's actually bothering them. Just don't have enough space. Suppose we could, well, we can expand the fence, because look, we got all this space out here. Don't have enough maintenance crew. What the heck is going on all of a sudden? Okay, the hippopotamus are fighting each other. It's all falling apart, guys. Is this the last bit I have to do? It's just this? It is. You know what? I don't really want to do this right now. Let's go back to the main menu. I think we've unlocked the next one, so let's just do that. I don't really want to dick with that. We can get the gold star, but I don't care. I don't really want to dick with all that. I can do it like in my off time or something. The soundtrack's good.
Ah, pandas. They're my daughter's favorite animal. I think it's fair to
She's seen
say
anyone?
that if ever there was an animal which has captured the public's imagination, it's pandas. Oh,
Yeah,
well,
they don't wanna
that's
fuck each
assuming
other.
you ignore cats and dogs, obviously. It'll take more than a cute bear to knock them off of the top spot.
Pandas are dumb as
But
shit.
did you know?
They're cute, but
thanks
they're
to
dumb
the
as hell.
incredible conservation work that's being done in China and around the world, pandas are no longer endangered.
Are they not?
Amazing. That said, they're still considered vulnerable. So, this zoo is extraordinarily lucky and honored to be part of that conservation effort. It really speaks to our reputation, a reputation that you're going to be in charge of maintaining, along with all the general maintaining too. I really can tell you how important the welfare of those pandas is. Oh wait, I can. It is vitally important. The eyes of the world are on you, my friend. Although, perhaps more pressingly, the eyes of Nancy are on you too.
They're not. Yeah, they're not clean
Welcome
either.
to China. This is Bernie's brand new Panda Celebration Zoo. So new, in fact, that it's not quite finished, but we'll deal with that later. First, let's take a tour of the zoo.
Okay.
Obviously, the giant pandas are the main attraction for this zoo, and luckily for us, we have one which was born just a few days ago. Let's go and have a look at it. Go on, don't be shy. Select the panda cub.
Where is it? There it is.
And click on the camera to enter animal camera mode. Oh, doesn't it just warm the cockles of your heart? So cute! Did you know that giant pandas, or Ailuropoda melanoleuca, if we're being formal, are the only entirely herbivorous bears? They can actually eat up to 38 kilos of bamboo a day. Not that surprising, given that they'll spend up to 14 hours a day chomping away.
There's no
I don't
nutrition in that
imagine
shit.
this little fluff ball has that kind of appetite yet, though. Oh no. I just got word from one of our keepers that a sable antelope was placed into a habitat without going through quarantine first, and that they're displaying signs of disease. We'll have to move them into quarantine to stop the infection from spreading to the other animals.
We have to kill it.
To do that,
Euthanize
go to
it.
the highlighted habitat, find the infected animal, and then select them to bring up their information panel.
There's only one in here. It's completely by itself.
Good. Now click move and then transfer them into quarantine. I've highlighted the quarantine facility in the zoo for you.
By itself.
Oh, phew. That's a relief. Now that we've stopped the infection from spreading any further, we need to build a vet surgery so the antelope can be treated and then returned to his habitat. I've already highlighted where I'd like you to build it, so why don't we head over there? In order to build the vet surgery, click on Facilities, Staff Facilities, and then Vet Surgeries.
smiling.
That's the job. Vet surgeries play a very important role in a zoo, as they're the only places that vets can treat the animals. Once there's room for the antelope, the vet will pick them up from quarantine and bring them to the surgery.
I mean, it's disease.
Yes,
What kind of surgery are you gonna do?
spread through a habitat quite easily, especially if the water inside it isn't being cleaned regularly. As it happens, I just got a report that one of our water treatment facilities has broken down, and the water in the flamingo and saltwater crocodile habitats has gotten dirty. I've highlighted the water treatment facility for you, so you should go and check it out.
Here I am.
Click on the water treatment facility to bring up its information panel.
Already done.
Yes, I don't think you need a degree in mechanics to tell that this thing's thoroughly banjaxed. Click Call Mechanic to get them to come over and fix it for us. So, just to explain, water treatment facilities work in a similar manner to power sources, in that they have a radius of influence around them. That means any body of water which is even partly within that radius will be cleaned automatically. Also, like power sources, if they get damaged, that radius of influence will shrink, meaning that it might stop cleaning water sources which were only just within its reach. If you want to check how much of your zoo is covered by your water treatment facilities, then there's a heat map you can use to see the coverage. That way, you can quickly spot problem areas and rectify the issue. Good work. Now that the water treatment facility has been repaired, the water will be cleaned up in 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. You can also use mechanics to repair power facilities, transport rides, bins, benches, signs, and, as you already know, habitat barriers. Now, I'll be honest, I'm still a little worried about that disease scare we had, so I think we should do some research into it. Doing research into a disease can help prevent future outbreaks of it. And even if we do have an outbreak, it'll make the disease much less potent. I'd like you to start some research into bordetellosis. Disease research can be found in vet research, so head over to your research centre and get one of the vets researching it.
Where do I drag it? Oh, here we go.
Lovely job. Once that research is complete, I expect we'll send that disease packing in no time.
Whew! That was a close-run thing with those antelopes. I dread to think what might have happened if you hadn't got them into quarantine as quickly as you did. Fast thinking there. We had a horrible outbreak of viral gastroenteritis here at Goodwin House. Although, luckily, that was just limited to me and my wife.
Make burgers out of it. Seems these two are well-meaning but can't run a zoo for nothing until you show up.
In hand, we can start to focus on the guests and improving their time in the park. You see, you can also do research into new and improved guest facilities, transport rides, as well as new types of barrier and other things via the workshop. I've highlighted the workshop for you, so head over there, select it, and then click on View Workshop.
Well, I wonder though, because you know, it's not that they're not running the zoo right, but it's like all their key people quit, so it makes you wonder like what kind of employers they are.
And finally, assign a mechanic to research souvenir shops by dragging and dropping them onto it. I can't wait to see what they come up with.
Why would a mechanic do that?
Great stuff. That research will take a little while, so let's have a look at something else in the meantime. Because we've had some good news.
It died and we're having antelope burgers. It's gonna be amazing.
It turns out that we're allowed to adopt more giant pandas. The authorities have given us 3 females to help with our breeding program. Even so, I'm sure you know how notoriously difficult it is to get pandas to breed, so we'll have to be patient. Our current giant panda habitat is full to the brim, but luckily we've already got another habitat ready to go. But before we move our new pandas in, they'll need to go through quarantine. Of course, we can't do that until we've accepted them. So open up animal trading and go into the animal reward section. Just click transfer to animal storage next to each of the pandas, and then they'll be sent there. Finally, we can send them from animal storage to quarantine. To do that, just select them in animal storage, then click send to zoo, and then click on the quarantine facility in the zoo. Don't worry, I've highlighted it for you so you can find it easily.
Wait, where? Let's say send to zoo.
While we wait for them to clear quarantine, you should set up their new habitat so they feel at home in there. I'll also need you to bring over one of the male pandas from our other habitat, because without him, we're not going to have much of a breeding program, are we? So go on, move him over and get everything set up for your pandas.
It's a female. Says there's 3 males in here, but there isn't. There's literally 3 pandas total. Let's see. Where actually is this panda? He's like in here. Oh, it's their bedding area. I can't actually get any closer to them. Just have to do it this way, I guess. How do I just select you? Did it want me to grab a specific one? We have one giant panda too. Okay. Which one? Kind of cool though, how like so like their resting places makes them sound like they're dead, are actually inside this like building. That's cool. Is it just called a panda or is it? Panda. Gorilla, chimp, antelope, it's giant panda, okay. There's the like viewing area. Right there. Food enrichment. see, giant pandas. Red panda. Giant panda. I like these things. I have no idea what that is. Toy enrichment. A fire hose ball. Okay, we gotta get their terrain. Where's he going? Okay, needs more grass. There's too much tall grass in here. More than one. Okay. What else? Just need plants. Okay. Environment. They want some coverage. So we'll do continent, Asia, and biome. Right. And I just want a little bit of coverage. That was a big ass tree. Of course, they gotta have bamboo, right? Bastards love their bamboo. Doesn't really count for coverage, does it? Giant fucking elm tree.
Good news. Our new female pandas have been given a clean bill of health. You'd best move them into the new habitat so they can settle in. And I hope you've made their habitat as comfy as possible, because animals will only breed if they're happy.
I mean, I'll just do it anyway. I don't have that many requirements. Okay, so we go into animal trading. Do we actually have to then actually have to pull them from there? Here we go.
Oh, bless. I think they'll be really happy in there. Fingers crossed we'll see some lovely new cubs sooner rather than later. Right. While they're being delivered, we'd better get on with something else. Oh, dear me. There's never any time to rest when you're running a zoo, is there? Well, unless you hit the pause button. Okay, I think it's time I taught you all about work zones. I know, they don't sound as interesting as the animals, but trust me, they're ever so useful. You see, Work zones are a way of making sure that your staff concentrate on specific habitats or tasks within the zoo, so they aren't wandering off elsewhere when it's time to feed the animals or the like. So let's start by creating a new work zone, and then assigning a keeper to it so that they know to look after the new pandas. To do that, go into the zoo section, then click on staff, and then work zones.
Okay.
Now, click on New Work Zone. To set up your new work zone, I'll need you to select the highlighted habitat gate, staff room, and keeper hut. Oh, and don't forget to name it something useful. Once you're done, just go ahead and exit the work zone creator.
The panda sexy zone. There you go.
Now let's hire a new keeper and assign them to our new work zone. We don't want them getting distracted by other goings-on in the zoo. Go on, hire one. Then, click on your new keeper to bring up their information panel and go to their Employment tab. At the bottom, you can assign them to your new work zone from the drop-down menu.
There we go.
There you go. Now
That's what
your
I said.
keeper will focus his attention on our new pandas. Oh, and just so you know, all types of staff can be assigned work zones. Just make sure that they have access to all the buildings that they need. And one last thing. You might find it faster to assign them from the Work Zones tab in the Staff section of Zoo Management. That'll save you having to chase around selecting your staff one by one. Oh, it sounds like the brand research has been completed. You should collect your rewards, and you can do that by clicking on the notification or by going back into Mechanic Research. Now that we've got our lovely new Just a Memento shop designed, you should build one of them near the zoo's exit. That way the guests won't miss it on their way out, and we won't miss out on their money.
Ah, now she's talking. Who does? Hell, if you don't need anyone. Hell, you don't need anyone else. That is true. Fuck it. When someone says go fuck yourself, I do it. So what are we making? I guess just anything in here, right? And just a memento, okay. Let's see.
Oh, that's ever so wonderful, that is. Anyway, I'm just off for a moment, but I'm sure I'll have some more jobs for you to look at shortly.
Okay.
Aw, those pandas look just adorable. I can see why people keep foolishly forgetting that they're wild bears. And good work on that new gift shop branding. Just a memento. Very clever. Much better than our old overpriced gifts branding. I'm all for truth in advertising, but it was perhaps a little on the nose.
Back as promised. Right, I'd like you to increase the number of different species in the zoo. Now, you can find out what species are already in your zoo by going into the zoo section and then into the animals area. And if you're wondering how you're going to fit them all in, then mixed species habitats are a great way to save space and create interesting habitats. Just make sure to check the Zoopedia to find out which species enjoy living together. E.g., don't mix lions with antelopes.
Don't tell me what to do. Look, here's a perfect panda habitat right here. The pandas would love it. They would love those things. Pandas love these bastards. to call him anyway? Animal has escaped. What the fuck? What the fuck? Look at that. Nobody even seems to care. It's just, there he is. He's down. There he goes. He's in. I'm having a habitat issue. I know, wait. Okay, so we need to have at least 18 species, and we've got 15. Low welfare. Why? Habitat? What's wrong with the habitat? Temperature is wrong. It's too much long grass. A little bit more coverage. It is climbable, I don't know if they're gonna. So, okay. So we need to figure out, like, what animals can go together, I guess. So we've got these tapirs. I think the tapirs have to go on their own. Zoopedia. Okay, giant pandas. Interspecies enrichment. This has to do with enrichment, but it doesn't say if they just like hate shit. How do you know if they can share? Environments. Giant panda. Can guess enter habitat. Oh, so you could have like habitats where people could just like enter it too. Let's see. Life cycle social. Really say like pandas are solitary creatures but will interact if they come across one another. Mix them. I can imagine. Okay, these things. Surely they don't give a shit. Social. Just look them up from here. can enter habitats. Seriously, how do I know if I can like mix these guys? It's like these guys, okay. This is the tricky part. I mean, are there any species that benefit? Cause like, okay, wait, hang on. Like, let's go to the Zoopedia might. Okay, so like, let's see. There was like the zebra. The zebra was in with the giraffes. Okay, so they do. Okay, this is. Okay, that. Okay, so it does. It does say what they can go with. All right, all right. I'm getting somewhere. So pandas don't really like. These are bugs. Oh, you can give contraceptives to him. They're just silly bastards. Okay, so how am I supposed to mix species if there's like no? Pangolins. There's too many adults in there. So penguins don't mix. Maybe it's just easier to go through them like this. Macaques. These are the bastards that got out. Macaques don't like shit. Red pandas, let's check them out. Where are the red pandas? They're dead. Oh, there they are. Social nourishment? No, they don't like anything. What the hell does that mean? One of them's been created, I guess. The flamingos don't like anything. We tried those. Oh my god. That guy's barely getting out with his life. Okay, so that doesn't do anything. How am I supposed to... Exhibits. Tapir, wait, tapirs and... There is another species in here. Wait, tapers and... Okay, wait. Hold on a second. Wikipedia. Oh, wait a second. So they can... Okay, I'm not understanding something then here. So they can go together... But they gain no benefit from it. Okay, so this isn't what I thought it was then, because they're in one pen. How do you know they can go in the same pen? Is there just something I'm not grasping here? How do you know the animals can go in the same pen? This is something I need to like figure out. 'Cause, yeah, it doesn't say they have any. Doesn't benefit, but it doesn't seem to hurt them for it. Is there a piece of information I'm missing? I don't know. This is the confusing bit. But it's actually over my stream time. I'm gonna figure this out. Cause there's little bits of this I just don't get. So like, how do you tell if they can just go together? Or if I just like put one of them in, can I, hang on. Let's try something. Can I even put them in a pen if they won't go? It's like if I take a, two like pens of them. What are these? What is that? That's poop. Alright. Can I like... I can totally just move him in here. That doesn't make sense. I can just put him anywhere. Oh well. We'll go back to the main menu. I'll figure that out. Because, yeah, that's what it wants me to do. It's like, sure, they don't benefit from being together, but apparently they can just go together, but you don't know if they can just... if they're gonna eat each other. I mean, I could just put a taper in the crocodile pen. The game wasn't gonna stop me. So, yeah, I don't know. Trade Center is currently unavailable. Please close window to retry. A little bit bugs. What'd you guys think? Was it good? I'm enjoying it. Like, I'm just doing the tutorials right now, just to kind of figure stuff out. Which I suppose it's good because it's gonna like take me a bit to like figure out how to do certain ones. I think it looks pretty good. Would you like me to play more of it? It's pretty fun. It's just like, yeah, a lot of tutorials to do. There's also the franchise mode. The franchise mode is where we get to actually like build our own zoos. You want to see more of it? The advanced tutorials might need more guidance considering you were held up at the end. Yeah, see, that's the thing. There's certain things that aren't quite clear. And there's like a lot of menus going on, and some of them are kind of like hidden in odd spots. But yeah, some things aren't quite clear. But you know, once we get there. Still, oh, is my zoo still here? It is, isn't it? So, my zoo that I was doing during the beta run was called Flavor Town. Someone else was running it though. I was like trying to... It's on the 28th. This is on the 30th. This is on the 30th. 801. Let's go look at this. Oh, no. Doesn't work. This doesn't work. Because this was during the beta time.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh. But yeah, I'll look some stuff up. Because I want to figure that out. Like, how do I know I can pair animals together? But we'll continue playing it because I want to build my own zoo as well. I think that's gonna be fun once I get through the tutorials. But yeah, we'll do some more of this. I just like burned like the entire hours of the stream here without even trying. I lost track of time. We had a few issues on startup, and then yeah, it crashed on me once, but otherwise it's held up. So that just seems to have been the only problem. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. We'll play more tomorrow. Yeah, sorry for the tech difficulties at the start of the stream, but my graphics drivers are updated now, and I figured out what the muting issue was. So yeah, it's day one on the game too. This definitely seems like a time sink. Not Stardew, but maybe not Stardew levels. Yeah, there was a couple times I kind of looked at the clock and went, eh. Especially when I'm sitting there floundering, just like looking for stuff. I'm sitting there going, shit, everyone's watching me fuck this up. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. We'll play some more Planet Zoo. It's definitely, I'm enjoying it a lot. For what we have, I'll look up the stuff I can't figure out. And we'll continue on, and we'll get to the point where we're making our own zoo. I said I was gonna make an Aardvark park, a themed park. Well, where the Aardvarks are the main attraction, because I have a friend who really likes them. So I thought we'll make that our like first attraction when we start making our own zoo. It's called Learning. It's something I don't have to do if you do it. Yeah, see, that's true. If I go through the tutorials and everything else, you guys get to learn along with me, and you don't have to do it on your own. If you pick up this game, and you're all judging me, yeah, that's what I expected. Expected every last one of you were judging me. Yeah, okie dokie. So yeah, have a great night. Thank you for sitting here and watching me flail through it. I'll be back tomorrow with more Planet Zoo. So have a great night, guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.